Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Mothering Holistically. I'm your host, Kaylee Berlini, and I'm thrilled to welcome our very first guest, and she's joining us live as we dive into the joys and challenges of navigating life as a working mom and a stay-at-home mom. So today we are joined by a fellow twin mom, born and raised in New England, who married her high school sweetheart. She is an owner of 2 thrift stores and a content creator who focuses mostly on Instagram and YouTube. We are excited to be joined today by Miss Courtney Capano.
Yay.
Yay. All
Yay.
right.
I was early on my own applause. Awesome. Awesome. Well, thanks so much for having me, Kaylee. I'm so excited to chat with you today. And I'm so grateful that the universe connected us. It's been so wonderful getting to know you, honestly through social media. And now here we are. But yes, my name is Courtney Capano. You hit on all of the highlights. But the biggest part of me is that I am a mother, and I became a mother in 2022 when I had my identical twin daughters who are my whole world. And yes, I married my high school sweetheart. We've been together since 2009. So quick math, like 16-ish years, married 5. And yeah, welcomed our daughters into the world in 2022, where at that time I was working in a corporate job. I worked for an insurance company from the time that I was in not high school, college, like junior year of college,
Oh.
through being a 28-year-old new mom. And I had my daughters. I was on maternity leave, came back for a few months, and then was told I was laid off, which was really jarring. It rocked my whole world. But lovingly say now it was one of the best things to ever happen to me because it kind of forced me out of my comfort zone. I think I honestly would have stayed in that job, kind of working up the corporate ladder for a while, because it was, I mean, not fulfilling in any way, really. I loved the people that I worked with, which can really make all the difference. I say that to a lot of moms that I chat with, even if you're not fulfilled in your role, are you happy with the people you're around? That can make all the difference. But I was not, it wasn't really filling my cup. So pushed me out of my comfort zone. And I started to explore different opportunities to just, fulfill myself as a new mom, finding balance while still needing to make money. I think for a lot of people, having 2 incomes in a house can be really important. If you can swing it otherwise, that's great. For us at the time, we needed 2 incomes. So I started to offer thrift bundles. And this was really exciting for me because I loved thrifting. I was super passionate about that. And so I started to offer curated thrift bundles for people where I would have them send over Pinterest board inspiration and I would go out and thrift for them. And so that was a way that I was able to bring in some extra money for my family. I also was doing YouTube, which, that's how you and I were connected. I created my YouTube channel in 2020 with just like a need and desire to connect with people while I was working my corporate job, feeling kind of isolated. And it really allowed me to connect with people that I never would have. And then it became very much like a motherhood family channel after I had my daughters, and through pregnancy, I documented all of that. So when I was laid off, I really leaned into YouTube and used that as a way of making money for our family as well. And just continuing to fill my cup, which I think is really important in early motherhood and all of motherhood. But so with the thrift bundles, it opened my eyes to the fact that there is not great attainable thrifting out there. Like I will go through Savers and thrift all day long and spend 10 hours a day curating thrift bundles for people and style bundles, but not everyone will do that. And so there's just not a lot of like attainable thrift opportunities in New England specifically, and I think in a lot of areas. And so I came across this concept called indie clover that existed out in the western part of the country, really. And I honestly just jumped on a phone call with the founder of that franchise just to say, hey, would you ever consider bringing this thrift concept to New England? And from there, him and I just hit it off. I fell in love with the brand and I decided to open up my own indie clover in the New England area. And that was about 10 months ago. Since then, I have opened a second store because it's
Wow.
been really successful. And again, me understanding that in this market, we really have a need for a attainable, fun thrift store.
Uh-huh.
And so now I've opened two of them since. I've stepped away a little bit from YouTube. I'm hoping to get back into it. Even doing things like this is reminding me how much I love like social media and curated content in all different forms. But that was a really, really long spiel of my background, but that's kind of
No.
where I where I am now. Mom running two thrift stores and still always looking for ways to like connect with other people. When you asked me to do this podcast, I was so excited. This is like really what makes me so happy. So I will pause. That's my
So there's a few things I want to touch upon. First off, this is from Indie Clover. I wanted to wear it, yes. And okay, so I'm gonna take it back, but I do want to touch upon the Indie Clover thing because I have just been enamored by the whole journey that you've been doing. And then when you announced that you were gonna do a second store, I was like, oh my gosh, babe, she's opening up a second store. I told you it's super lucrative. No.
It is.
um yeah, so okay, first for whoever's watching, how did you get to DM sales? Because I bought this on the DM sale. So basically, you can go into it, but from the consumer uh, part of it, they just post pictures of like daily things that they are willing to ship out, or you can pick up and you can claim it by just putting your name and phone number, and then they send you an invoice. And it's really easy. Your staff is awesome. They're super friendly. I mean, even sometimes I'll be like, well, what's the material?
Yep.
I don't want to, no polyester, please,
Yep. Yep. That's
and they will like, tell me, and they're super quick. And yeah, so this is actually from Anthropology.
yeah.
And it was
I
like,
remember that dress. I
yeah,
remember. It's
I
a good
love
one.
this dress. I get so many compliments. And as soon as I saw it, I was like, oh, yes, because I've been looking for like a lemon orange, it's trending. So
Yes.
I've been looking.
The fruit, the veggies.
Yes. So,
Yeah.
and then it's from Anthropology, and I think I got it for like $40.
Yeah. And
I
it
think
probably
so.
retails like 200.
Yeah, because like my husband looked it up, because he was like, it's probably not as much. I was like, no, this is Anthropology. Okay, so I do want to touch upon that. We're gonna come back to it because I want to like start in your beginning. So I've always been so like amazed that you stayed with your high school sweetheart for now until forever.
Which is
And how do you keep spark?
that is a great question.
Because I mean, of course, I know you see social media, and like social media is going to
Hmm.
glamorize everything. And of course, we live day to day lives, and life happens, and there's ups and downs. But I mean, both of you seemed so much still very in love, and you know, how is that? Because you did you even go to college together?
No,
Hmm.
technically for one semester in Italy. But no, we did not go to college together. He went to Boston University and I went to Bryant University in Rhode Island. So we were close. We were seeing each other multiple times a month still. But we started dating the summer after our freshman year of high school. And we started out as best friends. Like we were in school together from sixth grade on. Like we were in each other's cluster in sixth grade. So we had like every class together. And he like bullied me. And like, I'm not even joking you. He thought he was so cool. He had an older brother in the middle school. So he had all these friends. And there's a whole funny story to that. But I joke and say, I'm like, you loved me for so much longer than I loved you. You were just mean to me because I friend zoned you. But we started out as like friends. And then, the summer after freshman year of high school, we just, turned lovers. And it was kind of just like the friend to forever situation, which I think the best advice I have, even raising daughters now, is just like whoever you end up with, like I hope that you're just friends first. Cause I think, or at least the beginning of your relationship feels like a friendship. Cause I think that foundation really has been the reason we've been together so long. There have been so many ups and downs, and no one shares that stuff on social media. But to anyone I talk to, I'm the first to say, like, it is not always perfect and beautiful, especially now in parenthood. I mean, our daughter's just turned 3, and arguably this has been one of the more challenging seasons of life for us. And I feel like for us, it's just like always still choosing each other. I read something and maybe I saw it on TikTok, I don't know, but I saw something that might have been like a therapist saying, if you and your partner, when you think about like your best day or like your best moments, when you're like clear headed, there's no kids bothering you at the time, there's no distractions, when you can just like be in your happiest place, maybe you're doing your favorite thing, and your husband is also in his happiest place. If in those moments you still choose each other and like love each other, then your relationship is okay. Like in life, you're going to have so many moments where like you're going to be down, your husband's going to be up, and vice versa. And navigating that and like parenthood has been challenging, but we still just like choose each other. And through every phase, when we were in college and we went our separate ways for a little bit, we still came back and chose each other. When we've been on different, he went through law school, we had no money. I was the only one working. Like, that was, I thought that was the hardest part of life until we became parents. And it's the wonderful, fulfilling part, but much more challenging. But we've always just like chosen each other. And we always come back to the fact that like, our friendship is like, I could not imagine my life without his friendship. And obviously, like, he's my romantic partner, he's my life partner, he's the love of my life. But our friendship, like, I could not imagine my life without. Like, he's gotten me through everything. So, that's, I think, why we've been together for 16 years through the ups and downs. And there are definitely downs. Like, it's okay if your relationship ebbs and flows. It's supposed to.
Yeah, and I feel like, it would be awful if it was always down, and then it would be weird because you'd be searching for like some type of emotional,
Yeah,
you need that excitement sometimes. Sometimes the
exactly.
the build back up is fun.
Couldn't agree more. I couldn't
Yeah.
agree more.
No, but that is, super. I think the most of the respect comes from you haven't given up on each other, and the respect comes from sticking it out and working through it. And I mean, while you were boyfriend, girlfriend, I'm sure there was push and pull and things there, but then now as a married couple, it like solidifies that, like, no, we're in this, we're doing this. And it's just a lot of respect that y'all have, like you said, chosen each other. So
Yeah.
that's super cool. And so you said he was in law school. So
Mhm.
when did y'all get like engaged? When did you get married?
So we got engaged in April 2019, and that was really special because at the time I was not expecting that at all because that was right before he graduated law school. In my mind, and we very much were like, once you get through law school, then I think I would probably start like sounding the alarms. But I really wanted him to focus on law school. And I was actually running the Boston Marathon for his brother. So his brother has spina bifida. He is paralyzed. He's in a wheelchair on a ventilator. And so I ran for him. And we, the night before, 2 nights before the marathon, we went in for like this sunset ceremony where you meet up with your team and you do like a big pasta dinner. And then
Get those
he
carbs.
get those. Yeah, I had a huge pasta dinner. I had like neon training clothes on, no nails done, no makeup on, which I think made it even more special because I had no clue. So we were at like an event in downtown Boston. He was like, "Let's just go walk to the finish line and just see it." And so we walked over, and luckily, randomly, we just ran into one of my teammates that I had like trained with. And Jonathan was like, "Oh, could you just take a picture of us like at the finish line?" And so he proposed right there. And we were all over the news. It was like so it was like it was so crazy. And he had like made us a reservation to go have like champagne and dinner somewhere in Boston. I was like, I'm running a marathon in 2 days.
Can't do that
No, I think we went home and ordered like Buffalo Wild Wings and like, watched
when it was good.
Yep. That was that. And yeah, so we got engaged and then like right after that I ran the marathon 2 days later and then he was like graduated law school right into the bar exam. And so it was so unexpected, which it's one of my favorite memories because it takes a lot to surprise me. And I had no clue. So yeah, so we got engaged right before he graduated law school and I had already, been out of school for like 3 years at that point working at my
Wow. Okay, so y'all been together since 2009. This is 2019. So, yeah, I mean, most women are like, it's 10
I
years, you know?
yes, totally. So many people were like, "You've been together 10" yes, we got engaged, like, exactly 10 years, or right under 10 years of being together, and it just yeah, because we were so young, though, I was like I was not putting and I always knew he always knew he wanted to be an attorney, so I just knew,
Okay.
like, it's just not gonna be an option for us to get engaged until he's done with law school, so it was kind of a surprise for me that he did it, like, right before he graduated.
Chose you,
Yeah. Yeah.
ahead of everything. That's
Yeah.
really, really sweet.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so you also created YouTube to start a community because that's when I heard you say that on YouTube, that was kind of why I wanted to get back into it because I first started YouTube in 2017 and I was doing like hair and makeup and like skincare because I'm also an esthetician and massage therapist and stuff like that. So anyway, that's when I first started it and it was doing well, but I just felt I get imposter syndrome a lot.
Mhm.
And so when I saw you and like how you expressed why you were doing YouTube. And my husband, I don't know if you've heard of Patrick Bet David, PVD, but he put out something when we first met. He told me he was saying like, oh, he does it so that his kids could look back and there could be memories of you. And he's like, how would you feel if you had your grandma on screen and you were able to get to know her even though she's not here? And like that really hit home for me. And having to like watching your videos and like watching you document for your kids, it was like, man, I want to do that as well. And then of course it gets lonely and to have that community and even, talking to you, like I said, created that community. So yeah, just talk to me a little bit more about how you started that as well.
Yeah, I love that so much. And I think about that all the time. Like, how lucky am I that I have all these like home videos and like my daughters get to look at my whole pregnancy experience with them. And if you remember from fall, like it was very difficult and in a lot of ways traumatic. And just to have that documented for them to just know like how excited I was for them to just be here. And then the first like I think I stopped after 2.5 years. I took my break. Just they have that. So I'm so grateful for that. And yeah, it's hard. As you know, we kind of talked about with imposter syndrome and just with all the things you consider when you put yourself out there. Um, for me, it's always been like, is this fulfilling me? Is this making me, feel good, feel okay in my body to share as much as I do? Am I allowing myself to like build connections with other people? That is part of like what genuinely makes me so happy to my core. And also, am I like I'm bottling memories up, these like super special times in my life. I get to like have them forever and look back on. And for me, like that has always been how I've coined success for me, for example, with like YouTube. Like, am I still feeling good in what I'm putting out there? Am I not just looking at the numbers? Like, how many people viewed this video? How many brands are reaching out to work with me? Like, for me, it's always been how many people messaged me after that video saying, like, this helped me so much. Like, you just got me through like a hard night with my kids. You just, like, I have moms reaching out that would say, like, they would put like us on the screen while they're like having coffee in the morning and like their kids would be like playing with my kids on the video. And
Yeah.
things like that, just like connecting with other mothers specifically, it really became about that and fathers. For me, just that feeling of like connection and helping other people that I wouldn't have the chance to just in my own world here. I mean, the great thing about social media, I know we've really entered this era of really coming down on social media and especially
Mhm.
being vulnerable, sharing their life, families, things like that. The best thing is the connection, and you can't get it outside of like this level of connection and like you live on the other side of the country like we would have never crossed paths without social media. So I think I kind of like veered away from your original question, but for me it's yeah, just the connection and the ability to like have these memories to look back on. It's a journal. So many people said to me, when you become pregnant, like journal, talk about the experience. My mom always had a journal growing up, but she still hasn't let me read. I don't know when she's deciding that I can. But I always thought, like, even on days where I was like, I really don't feel like vlogging this week or whatever, I'm like, no, that I'm doing my journal entry for the week. Like, this is so important for me. And so yeah, all of that has been like what has made, sharing my life so special.
Mhm.
Did that answer your question? Or
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I was like, my question was a little vague, so
I can
no,
go on my own.
yeah, when I started watching you, I was pregnant, and there's not a lot of relatable twin pregnancy content. A lot of it is more like talking to the camera, but like watching you live your life, and then watching you go through your C-section, and then dealing with all that and like breastfeeding and stuff. It was just so motivating, and you definitely put a very honest spin, but then a very like positive outlook on it. And so it always like I was always looking forward to your videos, and I was always, my husband was like, "Oh, it's that Courtney Capano," and I was like,
I love
and
it.
just like you said, with the people putting it on and their kids playing with it, like even when I was still watching some of your videos, even after you stopped, like my daughters are captivated, and they'll especially when your kids get on there. So I definitely know exactly what you're talking about, and just with the connection. And yeah, you're in Boston, or you're in Massachusetts, but New
Yeah.
England, so I'm in California.
Yeah.
You would
It's
never. So I
great.
love that. Yeah, I think
That's
it's
awesome.
so cool to be able to connect. Even yeah, social media has definitely, when you use social media right, I do understand the benefit of it. It's just, man, today's day and age, social media is
Yeah.
there's good and bad to everything.
Right.
There's good
Right.
and bad to everything.
Exactly.
There's
Exactly.
a ghetto everywhere. No.
That's that's right. That's right.
So, how do you balance it all? You have your twins, you have your husband, you have your family, yourself. How do you balance it all?
Yeah, I mean, I'm the first one to say that everyone jokes and says you need your village. And I think plenty of people can get by without a village, but they're probably not able to feel as balanced as I'm so fortunate to feel most days. I have a husband that is very like active and supports me in anything that I want to do. Like he is the biggest person to say, yes, let's do it. How can we make it happen? And for that I'm so grateful. And I have like my mother and my mother-in-law, who these are the first grandkids. They have all the time in the world to help me out. I mean, they both work very much so, but they step in and help us with childcare a few days a week. So and my daughters are now at an age where they're in preschool a few days, so like I have free time, right? Like that. And that has been a journey to get to feeling like I have, this time and I can use it in ways that, I'm not every day feeling like I should be. I think for me, I struggled early on with balance, with feeling like, and it could have been because I was in a job that wasn't fulfilling me, but very much like, when I'm at work, I am just missing my kids all day long. And when I'm with my kids, and when you're in that headspace, it's so hard to feel like you're balancing and like you're actually doing things that are for you. And I think internally that struggle, I've overcome that, which I'm really grateful for, probably because I'm doing something that is so fulfilling for me right now. But I have help. That's like my first default answer is like, how are you doing it all? I'm doing it because I have help. And because I've just found something that is like rewarding when I'm doing it. I mean, there are days with owning your own business and now having two, my days are super unpredictable. So it's like boundary setting. I recently hired a manager finally to help me out part time because I could not do both stores. I think every other Indie Clover win they've opened them. They immediately hired a manager. Like I never did. So I did 9 months, 10 months without anyone,
Okay.
other than like my team of employees who are awesome. But Yeah, getting help, I just think is like no, like any way that you can get help or find your village, whether it's I was just talking with a friend actually who's a new mom. We were on FaceTime and she is in a unique situation where her husband is in he's active duty and I think that's what it's called. Like I know there's so many different branches, but I'm pretty sure he's considered active duty. But so she has to move around a lot and find new places, and some of them are a little bit isolated. And I've just said to her, you know, even if you meet people that you wouldn't, I don't know, consider like your best friend or your perfect vibe, but like they have children, and you can just like get together and like mother together and like take care of your like I don't know how you feel about that, Kaylee, but for me, like when I'm around other people and their children, I'm like okay, even if like I can just have a minute to just like breathe and have conversation and feel like a person while being with my kids, like that helps take the mental load off of things.
Yeah.
If you don't have actual help to like have your children be somewhere else to be around community while parenting, even on the weekends, like we try to be around family as much as possible, other friends when we can, just to not feel so isolated. And I would say in the first 2 years we weren't as good about that, but we're trying to be better about it. Um, so all of that helped me feel like I can balance and navigate it all. No days are perfect. I have bad moments where I'm feeling way too stressed and I have to walk away from whether it be my kids, my husband, work, like nothing ever feels like it's all perfect. But those are ways that I've like tried to find balance in it all.
Yeah. When you touched upon being out somewhere, I right here by our house we have a park, and of course now that I'm going more often, and I reached out to you, I think, and I told you like I'm finally getting out the house by myself.
Yes,
You
I was
know
so
that
proud
was
of you.
that was like the first step. I was so like that. Oh my goodness. Like I don't know why I'm about to get emotional over that, but
I get
that was so stressful. The
it.
idea of getting out the house by myself. But so the way I am able to do it is we got the Jeep wagon, the big daddy,
Yes.
the four-seater.
Yes.
And so we took out one of the seats, and basically I have to take that with me. And when one takes off, there's always typically one by me. So then when one takes off, you just like haul that one, throw him in the wagon, and like, you're taking off. So like
Yep.
that, thankfully we have that because that has empowered me to feel better going out.
Yes.
But now that we're going out and we're going to that park more, I see similar, familiar faces. And yeah, like I'm now trying to reach out because I've always been the type of person that's been like, it takes me a while to open up and say something. Anywho, so I met a few moms, and they help, and they're, because they typically have one, so then they're like mine's by them or something. We're
Yep.
all like
Yep. Yep.
corralling the kids, and it
Yep.
does feel so much better. And she's like, I'm gonna get you out more, we'll come here more, and that feels really nice. It's so hard for me sometimes, like, make new friends, but I'm like, even with you and stretching myself and like reaching out, and then I feel like our relationship online, because I'm so scary, I'm such like a scary person, like I don't
No,
know this. So who is she? Like, they give
I
me a
love
green,
it.
they have catfish and stuff. And so when like, I know I'm real, so
Yeah.
when you responded to me and you were so kind and everything, it was like, man, I shouldn't be so standoffish online. I know I'm scary, but there are people out there that are genuinely trying to make connections. And
Yeah.
so, like, this friendship has expanded to me being a little bit more open out in public. So, cautiously, no.
That. I love that. And you're not scary, first of all. And all you could do is put yourself out there. And if people aren't receptive, one, it's maybe because they're in a bad point in their life and they're just not open to that. Or two, like if they're not your vibe and who cares? They don't need to respond to you. You're better off. But always put yourself out there as long as you're comfortable and you're safe and you're okay if like it's not received in the way that you wanted to. Like it's so good that you put yourself out there. And that's so amazing that you've just been going out and going to the park. It's terrifying, especially the age that your children are too. Like I mean, every stage there's like, pros and cons to every stage, and there's challenges and rewards to every stage. Like, oh, okay, they're walking now. Great. I don't have to hold them all day. Oh God, but now they're literally walking liabilities. and they're in two different directions. I mean, I would go like you probably get this too, and as they get a little older, like I would go to like these play areas and just be like, all right, like every other mother in here is now a mother of my children with me because I can't do it. But I literally cannot keep them both safe as one person because they're sprinting in opposite directions. And a lot of moms are helpful. A lot of moms give, like, and I love a mom with just one child. I think that's beautiful. And I think motherhood is always hard and every mother is at 100% capacity. It's like my go-to saying, like, and it's true. Every mother is at 100% capacity. We just have to split our capacity 50-50 between two children.
Mhm.
But I just love the looks of like moms with kids, usually like 2 and under, because they really haven't entered the like crazy, or maybe like a year and under. And they just see me with my wrecking balls, like just wreaking havoc throughout. And I kind of let them just do it. And the looks I get, like, oh my God, you're not going to like hover your kid this whole time. I'm like, I can't because I have to. But it's not easy. And that took me a long time. Like, I've recently just started to be able to like go to a playground on my own, honestly, where there's just so much like that they can get into and have to like trust them at a certain point. But I'm so proud that you did it and you're putting yourself out there. And yeah, just being around other parents that are all feeling like the same stress as you are in an environment, but you can just kind of chat, calm each other down. I love talking with parents. Like my best friend, her first son is like 10 months older than my daughter's. And so
Okay.
she's always been like at that next point and a little bit more comfortable in the stage that I'm entering.
Mhm.
And that's been really helpful too, just to be like, whew, okay, like we're gonna get through that. And like, just the friend that's like, take a breath, like it's okay. Like you're gonna
Yeah.
get through it. And, better days are coming. And so yeah, it's not easy though, getting out of the house with
Yes, I know we literally went to the zoo yesterday, because we
okay.
have zoo passes,
Oh,
and, the San Diego Safari Park, there's pluses and minuses to both zoos, not to, like, go too deep into the zoo, but the San Diego Safari Park has a lot of little playgrounds. So that is really cool because, like, the playgrounds, but they're not really made for your little baby, and my daughters, because we have stairs in our home, like you have stairs,
mhm.
they feel like they can do anything, they can climb anything, go anywhere, and so that part is scary.
Yep.
But I do try to let them, they like to walk. And so yesterday, Amira wouldn't want to leave like this little cutout in the fence. So it's like two wooden log, one log at the top, one log at the bottom. And then across the way, so at the San Diego Safari Park, you can like stay there and like camp in these tents that they have. And so there was stairs going up to the tents. So Amina's going up the stairs. Amira doesn't want to move. So then I had to run and get Amina.
Yep.
I looked back and Amira is stuck.
Oh,
She's stuck on like, so the log, and she's like over the log and she's like stuck. She's like a teeter totter now. Like her hands are she's too short for her hands to reach and she's too short for her feet to reach.
oh
And so
my
I'm like, well, she's
God.
good. And she's just like, ah, help. Oh
Like,
my
give me
goodness.
stationary. I'm gonna get the one
Yeah.
that
The one that could fall downstairs. You
that's
gotta prioritize.
that is the most relatable thing I've ever heard. How many times have you just had to do that? Like assess which kid is more at risk right now? Okay.
And then you have like parents walking by, like,
Mhm.
I'm
Yep.
like, yeah, this is me. But
Yep.
they're at this age where they won't sleep if they don't get out and get,
Totally.
their runnings out. So
Yeah.
I'm like, I
That
gotta
is
do what I
so
gotta do. She's like,
good. No, that's so good.
oh my goodness. Oh
Oh,
goodness.
that's so funny.
So, I was gonna ask you something. I'm like, that story just like threw
No,
me
that
over.
was a good one. I needed
Okay, so, as we're going to, because I know this show is about the ups and downs of being a working mom
Mhm.
and a stay-at-home mom, which is funny because now that I'm trying to do this podcast, I'm becoming a working mom. No,
Yeah. More. Absolutely, this is work.
man, yeah.
Mhm.
So what are you doing for you? Like, what do you do for you that you feel like, okay, you're filling your cup?
Yeah. I mean, again, so fortunate that these thrift stores that I now own and run, like so much of that is filling my cup truly. And I'm grateful that that also can double as, my income into my home, and my family. For me, I think I've been really trying lately to just like say yes to things even if it feels like I might not be able to get it done. Like last week, I took my first dance class in basically a decade. I had taken a dance class like 5 or 6 years ago with a girlfriend. I like this fun, like heels dance class. It was really
Oh,
fun. Yeah, it was really fun. This like really cool studio around. But this was my first like and like choreographed, learn a dance, practice it with a teacher class. And I grew up dancing my whole life. I danced competitively, I danced in college.
wow, okay.
And but it's been a long time. So that was something that just felt like really good for me. And I said yes to it. But everything comes with a sacrifice. Like I had to miss bedtime that night, which I
Mm,
don't love doing. But it's just like saying yes and knowing that, I mean, I'm fortunate enough to have a husband that can do bedtime when needed. And so I'm just trying to like say yes, like literally doing this podcast, like just say yes, do like this fills my cup. Connecting with other people fills my cup. I'm not able to like go on a random weekend adventure like I would have loved to back in my 20s. I'm not able to stay out all night partying with the girls anymore. Things like that that maybe used to be like fun for me to like let loose. There's just new pockets of fun that I'm finding. And I think that takes like there's like a learning curve to that when you become a parent, just like finding little things that are for you that maybe it would have seemed so small and not actual like self-care
yeah.
or becoming a mother. But just finding like trying new coffee shops. Like I think for me,
Yes.
it's something I'm gonna butcher like the actual quote, but it's just about like, it's your kid's childhood, but it's also your motherhood. And I feel like for a long time on like weekends, I would always be like, okay, what's the most like kid friendly thing we can do? Or like what is gonna be good for our kids or whatever. But we've been really trying to like Jonathan and I do things for us. Like if there's a new coffee shop we want to go drive to or a new exhibit we want to see, like let's just bring the girls with us to things that make us happy because like if we are in good moods and we are like doing something fun, we are gonna make the
Yeah.
whole thing more fun. Like how many times can I sit at like a play area or I meet like a kid's something and just like
Yeah.
be ready to just like leave the whole time. And you're doing things like that. Like your kids so feel your energy. And so when we go places that like make us happy, honestly, it makes the whole situation a little bit better. So we've just been trying to like bring our kids into things that we love more and more lately too.
Mm,
And so yeah, I think like things like that are filling my cup. But right now, I mean, I literally just opened my second store. So I feel like so much of my mind right now and fulfillment is around like, this business and making it
yeah.
successful, but that's filling my cup, which I'm really grateful for.
Yeah, no, I can totally relate to that because, you know, some people are like, but no, that's not. I mean, everyone has their own thing, but I can totally relate to you because it was like starting this podcast, getting myself out there, having my creative outlet cuz you're a dancer, I'm a singer. So I've been singing since I was little, but I don't do like the most thing that I've done is like singing in choir and then like sing karaoke. But then every time
Love.
I go with someone new to karaoke, they're like, I don't want to go with you again. And I'm like,
Oh,
that sucks. And so me and my husband connected because he cannot sing.
yeah.
But I always say that anyone can sing as
Yeah.
long as like you are in it.
Yeah.
And so he never cared that whatever. So he was singing at the top of his lungs with me. And that was one thing that like we connected on. I loved about him is that like he was like, whatever, you like to sing, I'll sing.
I love that. I love that. He's like, I'll bounce it out with you.
Yeah. So he does. And so, I've always needed like some type of creative outlet. So that's why I was like, you know what? I actually started planning it was going to be called the Mommy Podcast. But that doesn't hit as much now. I'm glad I
Yes.
waited a little bit.
Yes. I agree.
I'm glad I waited. And so of course, changed some things in my life. And now it's the Mothering Holistically podcast. And I'm loving this. I'm glad it feels full circle that you're the one that I'm interviewing because you have really inspired me to push myself and get out there more and do also some things for me, and it's okay. Um, and yeah, so I'm just so glad that you're the first guest because
So glad
this
to be
is
here.
filling my cup a lot.
Good, and see and look at that, it's work and it's able to I think, we've moved so far away from, like, that being a thing, like, work and fulfillment. I think it should be something that you can strive for, in whatever ways that it works for you, but that's so awesome, and I'm so honored to be here, and I'm
Yes,
so proud of
yes.
you for doing it. This is so bad can I swear? Sorry.
They were moms. This thing's for
No,
kids, no?
leave it out.
Oh my goodness, that's funny. Okay, so how are you navigating? Like I've seen, on Instagram and stuff that you travel and you're going out with your family. And at first I saw that your mom, she works with you sometimes. And at first I
Mhm.
was like, oh, maybe she feels comfortable because her mom is there. But then I see your mom on vacation. So how do you feel? I mean, like I said, I'm a very like and when I say scary, I mean I'm scared of things, like, I'm not trusting.
Yeah.
And so, like, how do you feel comfortable, especially I mean, you haven't been doing this for many years, so it's not like you've known these women for many years. So how do you feel confident to leave them there and you know everything's gonna be okay?
Yes. So I will say you nailed it where I was not, anytime I was going away, my mom was still at the store, kind of helping to run the
Okay.
show. And I assume that's what you're talking about, right? Like
Mhm.
the store, yeah, stepping away from the store. Yeah. My plan, it was like the first year, I'm not going to be traveling. Like I need to very much be around. And then like things come up. Like I had the opportunity to go to Utah this past year for my brother-in-law, who I mentioned
Mhm.
has spina bifida, and there's a program out there that allows him to ski. And being on a
Okay.
ventilator, most programs do not in New England like support that and can assist. And so this program was able to, and I was absolutely not missing that.
Mhm.
Uh, that was my first time stepping away from the store. And the biggest thing is really just being there so on Saturdays, it's new booth days. Just to provide context briefly of the thrift store, it's a booth rental system where you can rent a booth and sell with us. And so Saturdays are very important. That's where I'm like there checking everyone in. It's a ton of, problem solving. I joke, I have 63 business partners every single week and they change. And so meeting the needs of everyone and coordinating it, getting everything in the admin and the app all set and whatever. So Saturdays are big. So I have actually not, um, like I've always been there on a Saturday. I always plan
Okay.
my travels to leave Saturday afternoon or Sunday. Sunday is my boundary day. I try to just not check in on the stores at all.
Okay.
I have a manager that handles that. And for the most part, like the girls are so awesome that they can like run the show as far as like actually working the store start to finish. There's a lot that goes on the back end that I have to do, but with travel, when I went away to Utah, my mom was home, kind of helping manage the store, anything that would come up. And then recently, we had the opportunity to go to Key West with my family. This was like a gifted trip. My mother, who is like my best friend in the whole world. She was working at an orthodontic office for 38 years and, was just always kind of like wanting to see if she could do something else in the back of her mind, but she loved working with them. And so when this opportunity opened, I had asked her, like, would you come and work with me or for me so that I can just like having a family member in business? People have different thoughts about it, but just the security blanket of like a trusted person has been
Mhm.
everything to me. And so I tell that story because she decided to leave that orthodontic office. And as a party gift, they gave us this house in Key West for a week, just to like, yeah,
Wow.
to spend with family. And so again, like opportunity that I
Oh my
don't want to.
goodness, that's amazing. I'm like, I'm such a sap. That's
I had a good Friday
amazing.
yesterday, so I think I'm like drained. But yeah, so we went, and that was the first time my mom was with me, and I was like, oh my gosh! But again, like I told you that I just hired a manager.
Mhm.
She started as a social media assistant. You probably chatted with her through buying DM sales. Her name's Sam. She's been a lot on the social media. And she, along with all of the girls, but she stepping into the manager role has allowed me to like take a total deep breath. I fully trust her. And so having people that you trust when owning your own business to help you is oh, it's worth everything.
Mhm.
And I don't know if I've just been fortunate or if I just did a really good job at hiring, but everybody that we've had, I mean, our team has been the same since we opened. We've just grown it, but everyone
Yeah.
stayed. We had one girl that had left a few months ago on awesome terms. She just was pursuing like a career path that didn't allow her any more hours to be at Indy. So everyone just loves the Indie Clover concept. It's
Mhm.
hard, come in and absorb Indie Clover and not fall in love with it, honestly. But yeah, another long-winded response, but I just have,
No, this is important, and I definitely wanted you to kind of get into depth about the Indie Clover journey,
yeah,
because I don't know if you would recommend. I mean, clearly you would recommend,
yeah,
people in other places because sustainable. I mean, for so out here, just to kind of connect what I'm trying to say, out here I don't know if you've heard of Uptown Cheapskate.
yes, yeah, yeah,
Okay,
yep,
so I have really nice things. And I'm not even trying to say that just to be like, but
mhm,
I had some really nice things and I took it there. And, I mean, I had scotch and soda. I had like some True Religion jeans. I mean, they're not jeans. I worked there, so that's why I had them, but
mhm,
um they don't fade. They're these black pants that like don't fade and they make you look so good. And like I
uh,
took that and I took just different things that are like name brand and stuff and like things I didn't want to part with, but I pre-mom stuff.
yes,
So I took it there and like they only said yes to like my scotch and soda jacket and then like my husband's bomber jacket. And I was like, this stuff is so nice. I was like, okay, like fine, whatever. But understanding the Indie Clover brand and being able to take whatever you want, put it in
mhm,
there. If it sells, it sells. If it doesn't, it doesn't. You know, like certain things that I see on your on just on DM sales or even just in passing when the girls are doing their social media stuff, it's like I see some really nice things and things that like Uptown wouldn't even take or
yeah,
sell. And
yeah.
I think that it's so like cuz you take pretty much everything except technology,
Yeah, no
right?
food, no technology. That's the only rule.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
And nothing has to get like pre-approved. And again, like I love consignment stores in all shape and form. We need more of them. That should be like the only way we shop at this point because we are such over consumers in the United States. But
Yeah.
with like places like that, and we have a few around here similar, where the consignment model is just not built to have you really be able to like clean out your closet and really make supplemental income that is like sustainable. And Indie is. So we don't even
Mhm.
you don't even have to come and bring things to get approved. Like you just come and set up your booth. You can sell
Yeah.
whatever you want. It's your booth. You can sell whatever you want. We've found that people don't bring junk because they want their booth to sell well, but like everything you just mentioned would sell great in Indie Clover. Like we would never turn that down. There is someone that's looking for that. But with some of these other consignment store models, they can't take an abundance of goods because they have to store it for long periods of
Mhm.
time. For us, inventory is only a week long and it sells quickly, so everything goes and
Wow.
hundreds and hundreds of dollars a week. Like I do the payouts every Monday, and I mean, we had a seller make $1,000 in 1 week. Uh,
Wow.
On average, it's a couple hundred. We have sellers, I mean, that make below that, but they just usually it's because either they didn't price properly, or they were really trying to clean out things that maybe should have just been, donated or get passed down. But for the most part, like sellers make really good money and things sell that otherwise would not in another consignment store because they
Mhm.
probably have turned it down or X, Y, and Z. But yeah, the Indie Clover model is just like built to help people make supplemental income, which has been so cool. And it's built to help you clean out your closet, and it's built to help people be able to I mean, we are literally living in like a recession essentially. It's a recession proof model, and it helps people be able to buy Lululemon in a fun
Mhm.
environment. mom can bring her daughter in to shop Lululemon for $30 as opposed to 100, and her daughter doesn't feel like, not that there's anything wrong. Again, I shop in Savers, I shop in Goodwill. There's nothing wrong with that. You can get some great deals in there. But in high school, I didn't want to be shopping in there with my mom. I wanted like the cool item from the mall that was overpriced. And so now we have moms bringing their kids into Indie Clover shopping secondhand. They don't even know it because it's so fun in there. We have bright colors and there's photos and we're on trend with everything. And, parents can buy affordable things. Like we're doing a ton of back to school event stuff right now and
Oh,
really
okay.
mentioning like, come on in, like even shop our discount days, if you really need that extra, um, you know, percent off of some of the items. So yeah, it's been great.
And what I wanted to ask, because I mean, coming from someone who I did my mobile spa and stuff like that, and like the marketing ideas and stuff sometimes would escape me, trying to be the talent and trying to keep up on treatments and stuff like that, and then just trying to do it all is just not
Mhm.
possible.
Mhm.
But I don't know, is it something where you like, are all these ideas coming from you? Like, because I know you said you worked in an insurance company. What did you do? Like, how is that translating to you running Indie Clover?
Yes, such a good question. So I went to business school, but that was because I didn't know what I wanted to do. And I think that's always a safe bet. And I don't remember much, honestly. Shout out to Bryant University. But I loved my business school. Like I did well, whatever. So like I always say that I have a little bit of a pre-qualifier as far as running a business by going to business school, kind of. And then in my previous life working in insurance, I worked in talent acquisition. So in campus recruiting, going to local and not local colleges, universities, doing recruiting. So that I think helped me strengthen muscles on interpersonal skills, networking, personal brand, representing a brand, all of those things. But to be quite honest, jumping into franchising and being a business owner felt like an option for me. That felt like that was a big boys club thing to franchise a business. Um and
Shout out to the girls club. Nah.
shout out Best Club. And it's been really cool to meet a lot of women in business throughout this. I mean, the reason that I even got financing, because I mean, it's an investment to open your own business.
Mhm.
I tell everybody that I get the chance to, I take out loans. You have to spend money to make money.
Yeah.
And so even getting like loans, women are completely the reason I was able to get a loan. I met with this incredible woman. Her name's Giselle, and she's been the reason I've been able to open both of my businesses. And that was just networking, really betting on myself, saying, I know that on my resume maybe doesn't show that I have opened a million businesses and that I'm a safe bet for this big amount of money I'm asking for. But I am betting on myself. I believe in myself, and networking can really get you so far. And so that has been, I think because of my experience, just like going to business school, working in business. I mean, in business school, you do a lot of pitches and presentations. I have always been really comfortable talking in front of people and networking. So I think that at face value has led to my success. And I think also if you're not comfortable with that stuff, that's okay. Like that is just one of my skill sets. There's a lot of things that I've had to learn in opening a business and that does not come naturally to me. That is just something that does.
Mhm.
And so that's helped me. But honestly, with like this being successful, I really think, Ben, because of how community focused I am and how much I have, like even our grand opening, like the founders come in for that of like the first Indie Clover, and they were the first to say, like, we have not had, a grand opening with this like turnout and this amount of just like people and community. And their other stores' grand openings have been awesome. It's no shade to any of that.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
they were impressed with the community. And I have given this advice because I've talked to other potential franchisees and I've just said submerge yourself in the communities around and
Mhm.
explain like that this is going to bring vibe. It's a vibrant add to the community, this model. And really just explaining that this is a place where people can come together. Again, back to supplemental income for people, back
Mhm.
to the importance of shopping and selling secondhand. It's a community builder. I have businesses coming in to me all the time, like, hey, can I pop up in your store on a Saturday and offer? Like, we have pop ups all the time that have happened organically.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
which has been really, really great and a key player in how successful we are because people just want to come back. They love coming into the store. And I've really tried to foster a sense of community and just like like a feel good place. That has been so
Mhm.
important to me. I think when you open a business, you can focus on the numbers. You can focus on, being like efficiency and that is important. And I'm still learning ways that I can be maybe more business savvy. But for me, like creating a place that has just been somewhere people want to continue coming back and do business and sell and buy, and being very present, that has been something that I think has allowed for a lot of success in
I
both
mean,
stores.
that is the business. I mean, people focus on the numbers, and like you said, but the the people are the ones that are coming into your place, and the
Yeah.
people are the ones that are buying. So yeah, like people can get caught up in the numbers, but when they don't focus on the people, the numbers will show. And I mean, you're like what you're trying to create even has propelled and has been expressed even through your social media. I mean, even though sometimes like my husband's like, you need to stop buying stuff off Indie Clover.
Oh, I love it when I see your name and I'm like, oh, another sale to go.
But I love that I can get there early because like y'all, by the time I wake up, y'all are pretty much already open. So
Yeah.
I can like be the first
Yes.
one, you know what I mean?
Yep.
And I'm always just looking and tapping through, and the shoes are never in my size. No.
Yep. We'll have to work on that for you.
But other than that, I'm like, I love the vibe that they put out. I love the pink,
Yes.
I love it. I mean, it like I feel it even way out here and just through social media. So I can only imagine. I was looking at, your pop-ups. So that's really cool to understand that it happened organically. Like people just came in to like network and stuff. And
Yep.
so many people are standoffish with like, no, we don't do that here.
Yeah. Nope. I've never
So
turned
yeah,
anyone.
I love that.
This one woman was always coming in, popping in. We have a coffee shop next door.
Uh-huh.
But she's a grandmother and she would come in with her grandson. Was his child care on, I think it was a few days a week. And she would come in, she would get donuts with her grandson or muffins, come in next door and just run around. And she just in conversation, she was like, yeah, I just started picking up like knitting again. I've been knitting like it was in the middle of winter, like these hats and these gloves and whatever, literally just like a grandmother at home knitting. And I was like, well, it looks beautiful. Like if you ever want, it's winter time. It was around the
Yeah.
holidays. It's like, if you ever want to come in and do a pop up. And she was like, oh, I don't even have a name for like my business. We helped name it together. It was like the initials of her daughters. And she popped up and she did so well. And she was just like a woman at home, like knitting and wanted to just like kind of get out and try something new. So, anyone
Aw.
can pop up in the store. I do not charge a fee. I love having
Wow.
people in there. And I don't think other stores have done that. I think now all stores are starting to adopt, like, let's have pop ups multiple times a month, which I think is so awesome.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be like the trendiest, like cool new thing to pop up. Like we've had the patch bars and the permanent jewelry. We love doing that.
Uh-huh.
But if it's just like a grandmother that wants to sell her knitted goods in our store, like come on in, let's do it.
Yeah,
So
and being open to that. Like you say, you don't charge a fee. I mean, that's awesome. I mean, being a people for the people, person for the people
yeah, yes,
is,
yes,
admirable. And I see why you've already opened up a second store. And yeah, that's amazing. That's amazing. I've always been a fan. So
yeah,
that
you're the best. You're the best.
that's amazing. I just like I said, just watching from your perspective and then from the Indie Clover Instagram and stuff like that. Just I mean, you can tell that you definitely have you in there and it speaks. The money is clearly coming because you're focusing on the people. And
Yes,
that's what I've always learned. I mean, even when I was business owner, entrepreneur, stuff like that. I mean, that's always been the advice is to just focus on the people, focus on being the best, focus on creating an atmosphere that people want to come back to. Because when people are feeling good, they spend money,
absolutely.
and so you don't have to worry
100%.
about if
Yep.
what you have is good. Like all of that will come.
Totally.
If like it will come, the money will be there, everything will be there. Focus
Yep.
on what you can control. And yeah, it's amazing. I love that you said that because that's
Yeah,
amazing.
it's
Um,
important.
oh my goodness, we might have to do a part two because my daughters are waking up. If you're
Uh,
open to that.
yes, yes.
But I want to finish off. My husband took the day off for this for me to
Oh
be
my
on a
God.
Wednesday. Yeah,
What a gem.
I know. Yeah, because he was like, I know you usually do it Saturdays and blah blah, but we wanted to make sure we can get you in because new booth Saturdays. How could I forget?
Yeah.
Um, so just to wrap up, I do want to ask you two questions.
Okay.
Um, what advice would you give to the new mom who feels overwhelmed by the pressures of work and home life?
Oh gosh. That, oh my God, that will like get me, like putting myself back in that, that'll get me. Because that was so hard. I remember for me, the anticipation
Uh-huh.
of like when you, if you're fortunate enough to have some time off to then go back to work, that like ramp up of like, oh my God, I just like need to be with my kid. How am I going to do this? And I think like take a breath and like let every day come as it does. I mean, for me, my story tells you that things can change in the blink of an eye and you cannot predict what it's going to look like or how you're going to feel. You might be so worried and then you go back and you actually like the peace of mind that you're getting at work. And so vague advice, I suppose, but just like try to not create a problem that isn't there yet. Like just enjoy like being home with your child however long you can. And when you're at work, try to enjoy that while you're there. Even though I said like I wasn't fulfilled in my previous role or whatever, eventually I enjoyed like talking with coworkers again and like getting good feedback from a boss and feeling like I had something outside of just being a mom. And again, that was my experience where I felt rewarded in that way. You may
Okay.
go back and realize like I need to find whatever way I can just only be with my child and work towards that if that's something that for your mental health you need. But I would say like try to not create a problem in your head and just like go one day at a time. And like things can change. I think in motherhood, you probably learned as well, like you're constantly just like getting to a new phase and realizing okay like I did that and it wasn't as hard as I thought it was going to be. It's still extremely difficult, but I was able to get through it. I was able to survive the back to work transition or whatever it might be. So I think like for me that was so hard and I think it will be hard for you, mom, and just kind of accepting that being a mom is hard and whatever avenue you take, there's always going to be hard moments, but try to not create a problem before it's there and just take it one day at a time. Would be like my biggest advice.
Mm.
Every
No,
situation is different.
that's huge advice, honestly, because like I was saying in my last episode, and what I have had to lean on is to not be overwhelmed by. I mean, even the next hour, I'm someone that I get so overwhelmed by the future,
Same,
um, and
same.
overthinking. Like even with this podcast, I'm like, you want to, of course, imagine the future and imagine seeing yourself succeed at it and do great at it. But then it gets like, how am I going to do that? How am I going to, how am I going to
Yes.
get there? What's that going to look like? And it's like, what can you do right now?
Yep.
You can prep for the next episode and you
Yep.
can record it and then you can put it out and
Yep.
and then, so I like that you say, don't worry about the problems that aren't there and just take it one day at a time, one step at a time, because
Yeah.
it makes it much more doable.
Totally. Totally.
Yeah. Okay. And then what advice would you give to someone who wants kids and they're in a place to have kids? Because I want it to be clear that they're in a place to have kids,
Yep.
but they feel like they'll be giving up on themselves and their career.
Oh, such a good question. I've had conversations with some people in my life, a little different that are kind of on the fence of having children. I think that if you know that you want children, you know that that is something that is a decision that you have made in your heart, and you know that that is for you. Things will fall into place, and you will just find a way to balance new goals as they come. Again, with like becoming a mom, the goals that I had before being a mom and after a mom were so different. And the ways that I have had to go about achieving them are so different, but you still achieve them. And I think, again, I go back to like, don't create problems that aren't there. If you know that you want children, like that's honestly all that you need to like really, really think about, because the rest is going to you can't predict. You might have a child that has medical needs that take you away from, whatever life goals you had for the first year. You may have a child that is like, so go with the flow and you can conquer the world while you're carrying the baby on your back. You don't know what is going to happen. And those are obviously drastic examples. But I think what I've learned and I'm still trying to tell myself is just like, with becoming a mom, that's like the biggest decision you can make. And if you know you want to do it, then like women are strong and women can do anything. So like you will be able to be a mom and have these other things. It may take time though. Like it may, for me to like open a business, my daughters were, it took me over 2.5 years to be able to like kind of get to that place. And so it just might take a little bit longer, but you have time. Like you do, there's this theme telling women like we don't have enough time
Yeah.
and everything needs to happen. You have plenty of time. You have plenty of time. Read all of the books and articles about people that started their careers at 60 and they're flourishing.
Yeah.
Like you have time. And I think just like the decision to become a mom is so important. If you know in your heart that you want to become a mother, the rest will work itself out in the long run.
I like that. I like that. Okay, and then real quick sneak peek. Would you see yourself opening up another indie clover or
Oh
like
my
I know
God.
you just opened up this one, but
Yeah. I
are you
think
like,
uh,
5-year plan?
I would love to. Like I love Indie Clover so much. I think for right now we're prioritizing family,
Yeah.
and that is something that we've just kind of like made a decision to prioritize like family right now, because I think a third store would really, that is when you really dip into like, okay, I am at like 40% in parenthood and I would have to be at like 60% constantly in business, and I don't
Yeah.
want that.
Okay.
So yeah, long term, I'd love to put it out there that I want to open more stores. My husband is so down for that. So yeah, down the line though, like not right now. Not right now. Focusing on family right now. I feel pretty balanced with two. So, and I like things in twos clearly.
Yeah.
So stick with
Yes.
that.
Okay. Well, with the babies waking up, that is the
Yes,
end of this episode.
that's
But I had
perfect.
such a
That's like
great time
perfect.
talking to you. Yes, it was so
Good talk.
awesome. And I'm sure you probably have some things that you can handle as well.
Yeah.
But I did want to connect you. So I put in here for people to see. All right, so to connect with Miss Courtney Capano, that is how you spell her name. And then you can also, I can of course type it in. How do you spell the two indie clovers so people can do the DM cells?
Yes. Oh my gosh, that would be amazing. So there, if you want to do the Instagram, or you can just type Indie Clover Beverly is INDY space clover, like a 4-leaf clover. And then Beverly is BEVERLY.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
How do you
definitely
spell
follow
it? Let me
the
see. But you
Instagram.
said it's at, so indie space?
Clover Beverly. Yep.
Okay,
Nope.
just
All
one
just,
word.
yep.
Okay.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
So that
Perfect.
is that at Indie Clover Beverly. And
Yeah.
then she has Indie Clover Wakefield.
Wakefield.
Hope I
Yeah.
spelled
And you
this
can
right.
follow and shop like Haley does. We ship anywhere in the US. We have actually had a request to ship to Canada. I don't know if we did it. I don't think so. But you can shop and we will ship it to you. Would love to help.
Perfect. Yes. And then if anyone has picked up anything with Miss Courtney Capano at the two Indie Clover stores, I always wondered because like some days I see like one item from Beverly and like one item from Wakefield. Would you like put those? Would they put
You know what?
those?
And what, yes, for
Yeah.
you, yes, absolutely. Happen.
Okay, I'll say I'm Kaylee. No,
I'm Haley, mother.
please put those. Yeah, because I'm like I don't like. Of course, I don't know
Geographically,
where they are. Farther.
well,
Yeah.
I'm going between both stores all the time, so I can make that happen for you.
Oh, thank you so much.
Yeah.
And so if you shop there, definitely tag hashtag mothering holistically with your
Yeah.
outfit. I've been needing to do that, but I was like, I'm definitely going to wear.
Yeah.
And wear something that I got. I love this dress. Like I said, I get so many.
It looks so good on you. The colors,
Thank
so
you.
good.
And then don't forget to join our Facebook page. All right. And then, of course, you can at Kaylee Berlini. That's me. The Mothering Holistically Instagram is live. I just don't post there yet. But I know Miss Capano tagged us today. So I was like, oh, yes, it's available.
I know. I just went ahead and tagged it.
And that's how they can find me on, find the podcast on all the other platforms and stuff. So it was perfect. Again,
Awesome.
hashtag Mothering Holistically. And then if you like this episode and feel that it resonated with you, please give it a thumbs up by clicking that like button. And if you feel like it could encourage someone you know, feel free to share it. And subscribe while also hitting that notification bell to never miss a weekly episode. Until next time, remember to mother holistically, thrive authentically. I'm your host, Kaylee Berlini, and together we're winning. Bye.
Bye.